What's up, everybody? Woo! Monday night, Keefe. Happy Memorial Day. An actual decent, meaningful holiday. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time out there. If you're sick of your folks, sick of your family, sick of your spouse, sick of your sibs, come on out and hang out. I'm gonna do some metal talk right now. If not, watch it on the replay on our podcast wherever you watch these things. Thanks for being here. It's Monday night. I managed to put in kind of a full day of work today, which is weird on a holiday, but I did. And why am I here? I thought I would do something a little unique. I'm trying to get more live streaming done. Again, the best experience for this. Harold, what's up, buddy? Thanks for your support and stuff on TikTok. I will say this one is kind of an essential one to be on YouTube for, or Twitch, and I'll tell you why, or the Gram. Because we're going to be reacting to a video that is on YouTube. I saw this. Yo, Gabe, what's up? Glad you're here. So I saw this video pop up today while I was working, and I was like, oh man, these things are always heavily inaccurate and funny. I think they're purely for clickbait, not from me, but by whoever does these. I think they look at like analytics numbers and Spotify playlisting, and they were like, you know what we should do is rank something metalheads, especially rock fans and metalheads, will be mad at. So this is pretty damn funny. I thought it was very interesting and specific that they chose to do this. Melissa is here, my fiance. I'm getting married in, oh my gosh, 7 weeks. It's coming up quick. Glad to see you, babe. Gabe, thanks for being here. Melissa, thank you for being here. All right. So I saw this come across today, and I was like, I have to bust on this. Some of it's good, like everything else. If a broken clock is right twice a day. And absolutely with the clickbaity thumbnail. I hope it worked with the Watch Mojo light up and this laughing cry face and sleep token and ghosted spirit box. Not really a spoiler, but pretty damn funny. So really quick, let me get through the minutiae. Again, we get some money from advertising, but other than my real ones, if you want to drop us a tip, we appreciate it. Giotti is here and Big Al is here. What up? What up? A broken clock is dangerous, Keefe. I know. You could be. I'm notoriously late. Ask my fiance. I struggle to get and do things in a timely fashion. Ask Omar from Ghost Cult. I'm really trying. I'm trying to get better. I do have ADHD. I found that out now. So, like, legitimately, I have a disability. But anyway, among other things. Fitter, happier, unproductive. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So we're talking about the Watch Mojo. This title is insane. Like, I guess this is how YouTube clicky bait titles work. The top 30 best modern metal bands by Watch Mojo. So they rank them, and we're not going to watch the entire video. It's 38 minutes, but I'm going to try to whip through it a little bit. The comments are unhinged. But first and foremost, let me just quickly bust through some of the minutiae of the show. I was on with a review of Iron Maiden's Burning Ambition documentary recently when I did one of these. I will do one soon for the All Gates Open Blood Incantation documentary. Spoiler alert, Blood Incantation comment coming soon. And, we post new interviews on our channels and our podcast all week long, as well as my weekly live show every Thursday. So, yeah, let's do the thing. And again, thanks for watching. I figured it was a holiday and we might not get some people watching, but here we are with some people watching. Thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow, because it was a holiday today, I'm going to run my interview with Gaff of Gozu. Their new album 6 is out now. Phenomenal new album, Gozu, just the best dudes. Also in a new series here on our channel, I'm interviewing Chris Elliott of Cell Arts and Black Angeles. He's got a YouTube channel where he posts full videos and songs of bands, but also as a journalist hopefully soon to be interviewer for Ghost Cult, and writes reviews and things like that. So Chris, I'm very fond of, and we get a deep dive on Chris's history and how he does what he does. And also, I'll be back later in the week. Here's the thumbnail for Friday. Bang. Or overnight, Thursday to Friday. That's probably when this is going to happen. Once again, there's the tip menu. Now let's talk about the video. Holy cow. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to just comment on this. So sorry for y'all on TikTok. You're not going to get to enjoy this as much. But let's do the thing. And it's got like the horrible AI voice that I fucking loathe. It is terrible. Let's check it out. Don't lock the door on me. Don't lock the door on me. You kill me face, don't die.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the top 30 bands who are flying the flag for the genre of metal in the modern era. For this list, we'll only be counting the groups that kicked off their careers in the year 2000 or after.
Where'd you go? Where's your home? How'd you end up all alone?
What a bunch of choices. So the criterion for this video from Watch Mojo, as they do most of the time, is these are videos, these are bands that started in the year 2000 or later. So this is going to exclude a bunch of new metal bands that are the biggest bands right now in the world. It's going to, Slipknot, Deftones, no Korn, no System of a Down, no Limp Bizkit, none of the real thrash bands that are legends except the new ones. And it's a lot of metalcore and like post-hardcore a little bit and stuff. But okay. But they started with Gojira, so I was like, oh, that's promising. Let's see what else they have.
Number 30, Crossfaith.
Oh, right off the bat. So I really love Crossfaith. This is a band that's been around for quite a bit from Japan, and they were kind of like metalcore and electronica right alongside Enter Shikari, and they had some pretty bad publicity in the last year. How cringe. They had some, like Crossfaith is a good band, but they definitely should not have been on this list just for outside musical reasons. They're a solid band. And then go on to make a case about Crossfaith, about why they're here. The comments are going ape shit. Let's see the next band. So that's 30.
Whitechapel. The deathcore flag is most certainly being flown high by Tennessee's Whitechapel. These guys.
All right. These guys, I can't listen to this voice too long because it makes me full of rage inside. The whitest AI voice possible. That's not a real announcer, right? That's a script they came up with AI and whatever. Whitechapel's pretty killer. They started out as actual true death metal. I highly recommend this video. I watched about half of it. They did not mention their essential original release, Somatic Defilement, right? Which is straight up death metal with no deathcore. And then they kind of evolved into the deathcore band we know. And then the last album or two, they've been trying to kind of experiment with different things, and be a little more different, because basically one deathcore, they're almost all the same, all the deathcore bands. They just brutal, heavy, which is cool if that's what you like, breakdowns and a lot of chuggy, punchy parts, and then nothing much else. Also, drop a comment with your band that you think is the best band since 2000. Basically, this is the list since 2000, in their opinion. AI's opinion, or Spotify's opinion. But okay. So, Whitechapel second. Pretty interesting. Let's see.
These are a true example of how to evolve in sound and identity without losing sight of who you are or alienating your fan base.
I will say that's true. Whitechapel seems to be able to kind of go take their music in different places, and their fan base seems to stay with them. Okay, 28. This is a good one.
Perish.
Also Perish.
Deathcore, as we know it today, could well have ended up in a very different place if it weren't for pioneering band All Shall.
That's fair. All Shall Perish is one of the original deathcore bands. I always felt they were one of the best bands in deathcore. They are having a moment right now in their big anniversary tour. I'm going to see them at Milwaukee Metal Fest in about a week and a half. I will do a preview live stream about that next week. But yeah, just excellent band, killer. I'm a big fan of Eddie and Francesco as dudes, and yeah, good shit. This fan goes, watch Mojo is the ultimate rage bait peddler. It's so true. And now we start to get into some weird shit. I mean, not that weird, but the Amity Affliction.
Emotional catharsis is pushed to the front and center when it comes to Amity Affliction.
No one like says the word catharsis much out loud. It's a word that's written. There's a bunch of that in AI, obviously. Emotional catharsis. Amity Affliction's a good metalcore band. And then they kind of went away from metalcore to do like rock and electronica. And their fans were like, fuck that. And so I think the fan base of this band is waiting for them to go back to true metalcore. But yeah, they also have, not red flags, but skeletons. I'm sure every band kind of does. Okay. Amity Affliction. This is controversial because of where it is on the list. Sleep Token 26.
As one of the few bands where the lore is almost as interesting as the music,
Sleep
Token have truly been a revelation since bursting onto the scene at the end of the 2010s.
Ooh, let's talk about chemistry,
so yeah, Sleep Token, huge band. Their fans are going to be pissed they're not at least in the top 5, if not number 1. They're surely one of the most interesting and popular bands of the last few years. I think the pandemic, people had nowhere to go, and they just were listening to this band on a loop, and it seeped in. I think Sleep Token's amazing, but obviously their fan base is unwell to a level of worship that is deeply troubling. Sleep Token 26, perhaps too low on it. Now, this is the first one that like really impressed me on this list, not because it's not impressive. Oh, thank you, Anarchy. Hey, Anarchy Faye. Hello. Thanks for being here. Gotcha. So this one is the first one that surprised me on the list that was good, like a surprising pick. So this is Convent.
When it comes to European metal, there has to be a mention given to the Danish group Convent.
Okay. It's a strange thing.
After surging onto the scene in 2020 with their debut album Puritan Masochism, Convent have gone from strength to strength.
Good voice. Yeah, Convent, underground, still kind of underrated band. I was surprised that band was on this list. I was just like, oh, word, we're gonna actually have a good band on here. Great. A band that I would have at least thought of in the top 30. And then here's the next one. I'm a little surprised. Not surprised, but a little surprised because it just doesn't seem like the kind of band this thing would have. 25, Sanguisugabog, the death metal band nobody's name they can say.
Or Sangui Sugabog.
24.
One of the first things that stands out about
Snoop
Sangui
Snoop Doggy
Sugabog
Dogg.
is the name. Their rather creative band moniker comes by combining the word sanguisuga, the Latin word for leech, and also singer Cameron.
What's up? Jim is here. What's up, Jim? Hope you're well. Happy Memorial Day, sir. Thanks for your service. Just doing a quick Monday night live stream before I get out of Dodge and go to karaoke. So I'm counting down the Watch Mojo top 30 bands since 2000, and this list is bizarre and wild. Just wild. But yeah, Sanguisugabog, kind of combining old school death metal and grindcore, kind of a new style cattle decapitation, but captured people with their extreme heaviness. I'm surprised that their guitar player stepped back from the band, but he has other things going on. 90% of this list is metal in the room with us right now. Weird, but okay. So Sanguisugabog 24. Here's a very underrated band that I think is also worthy of being on this list. Here's 23 is Ancients.
3. Ancients. Somewhere on the line between progressive metal and sludge metal, you'll find Ancients. Led by lead singer and guitarist Kenny Cook. These Canadian standouts have been delivering the goods since back in 2011. They caught a break after opening for Lamb of God and were seemingly set for a major takeover.
So that is true. Ancients has been twice. Philly on bass, what up? Psychedelic GA. Harold, what up, what up? Ancients has been nominated for a Juno Award twice. That is the Canadian Grammys. And they've had, I believe, 2 albums of the year from Decibel magazine. We love Decibel and very reputable. It's unfair to make this comparison, but Ancients is basically Canadian Mastodon. And if they weren't from Vancouver and they maybe were from Montreal or Toronto or Quebec, they might be more popular in America. It's just kind of a random thing. But, you know, then again, other bands are from Vancouver, Devin Townsend, Spirit Box. Here's a fun one. This is a band I like, pretty controversial. So that was 23 Ancients, 22 Hollywood
Undead. While certainly being the type of band who splits opinions down the middle, Hollywood Undead have forged a lasting place for themselves in the modern era.
Wake up, grab beer, grab rear.
This is like one of my guilty pleasure songs.
Seen as revivalists of new metal and rap rock after...
That's accurate. Hollywood Undead, kind of like a new metal, obviously very influenced by Limp Bizkit, but also very catchy and melodic. Yeah, Ancients, right, Jim? Really good band. But yeah, so Hollywood Undead with the masks, they kind of like a Slipknot of new metal rap group. That's also weird to say. They do have quite a bunch of members, like maybe 6-7 members. They look like a gang. Fun band live, also a bit controversial, but like I've interviewed the band, very cool, decent guys. Here's 21, gonna rankle a lot of true metalheads fans. Baby Metal, number 21.
Baby Metal. To simply try to explain what baby metal does is a lot tougher than just showing someone.
No, it isn't.
This Japanese band are at the forefront of the genre, taking heavy sound.
The genre of all of metal. Baby Metal are at the forefront of sort of a combination of Visual K, which is the Japanese metal style and musical style, and thrash metal and pop, sort of J-pop, Visual K, and metal. I think Baby Metal is fun and great. The musicianship of the band of Baby Metal, which are mainly anonymous but basically publicly known, are all ringers in the music industry, and they're fun, and they do actually love metal. There are a bunch of other bands from Japan, like Bandmade, Hanabi, and Love Bites, that are all also very legit. Love Bites in particular plays their own music and their instruments. There's been a long lineage of punk bands from Japan. So it's not just cute Japanese girls singing along to metal. They actually are metalheads. They're fun. I saw them with Deathclock, interestingly enough. Also on this list. Spoiler alert. So that was 20, Baby Metal. I know a lot of people either love or hate them. This is interesting. Number 20, Bad Omens.
Bad Omens.
It wasn't hard to realize love's the death of peace of mind.
The tone of...
I would say if you hate Sleep Token, Bad Omens is to blame, because Bad Omens brought in kind of a soulful R&B with some trap beats into their metalcore. Their fans are also ravenous. The band had Burnout last year. Baby Metal played with Deathclock. I saw that tour. Absolutely, women taking their place in the scene. Agreed, Jim. Agreed. Man, Bad Omens is an excellent band. I know they kind of have a reputation as a band with a lot of young female fans, good-looking guys, but like they are actually an excellent band. And I think hopefully the music industry doesn't chew them up and spit them out before they can get too far. This is not a surprise. Maybe just where it is on the list is a surprise. Number 19 is Lorna Shore.
19, Lorna Shore.
I said that already.
Something about being named after one of Batman's girlfriends sets the tone for this New Jersey group's.
So Lorna Shore, right? Super interesting. Basically symphonic deathcore, right? Symphonic death metal with an absolute maniac guttural singer. Will Ramos, I had one of the first interviews with him when he joined the band. He was not the original singer. The original singer was like kicked out for some sketchy shit. And Will comes in, he's like, just a sweetie pie of a person. And for a slight dude, his voice is insane. And so, like, I think during the pandemic, a lot of people discovered extreme metal for the first time. And Lorna Shore was like a gateway band. Sanguisa Gabog was a gateway band, which I think is super interesting. But yeah, Lorna Shore, not a surprise on the list. Maybe a surprise that they're this low. Speaking of Def Clock, Jim and me, here's Def Clock at 18.
Clock. They took me over you from 1,000 deaths. I'm coming back,
They're the most powerful force in metal.
So we just covered Def Clock yet again. I felt very honored. We've had a bunch of interviews with he liked them. Right on, Jim. Right on. Def Clock, man, what can you say? We just covered them again on the Amon Clock Conquest Tour that just ended with Amon Amarth and Castle Rat. I've interviewed Brendan many times and he was like, hey, Pat Moore, thanks. Brendan has been very cool with us. And so we've also talked to Gene Hoglan about Def Clock and Brian Beller when he's been on tour with them. So we've been very fortunate to have those major interviews. Yeah, man, Brendan's a genius and Def Clock is certainly fun. I think, they're not a niche band. They did get a lot of people into, I'm sure a lot of people will look back on this era of music and be like, Lorna Shore, Def Clock, these are bands that got me into death metal. This is pretty interesting. Number 17 is Volbeat, who I like, but interesting.
Volbeat.
Oh, how interesting. The video clip is terrible. It's not the actual singer. It's the other singer of the band, the backup singer. Volbeat, I always make fun of because they the singer, Michael Poulsen, he's great. He started out, they're Danish, and they started out in a death metal band. And famous Danes include Lars Ulrich and, of course, King Diamond. But Volbeat has a singer. He sounds exactly like one of my favorite singers of Kilgore. I don't know if you guys remember the Roadrunner band from the 90s and early 2000s, Kilgore, or Kilgore Smudge as they were known. But the singer of Volbeat, yeah, Def Clock is brilliant, Jim. The singer of what's up, Liz Quinby? The singer of Volbeat sounds like so like you got a cross between sort of heavy rock, Johnny Cash, Social D, Roy Orbison, and like I could see why like they crossed over. They were better with Caggiano. Oh, dude, Caggiano from Anthrax and Boiler Room, another Roadrunner band, so killer. But I just think it's super interesting that Volbeat is here and that they're this high. Again, I have a feeling this whole list is made by AI because of streaming numbers. Number 16, and I mentioned them already before, and I cleverly teased them on the poster, is, I think this is going to be Spirit Box.
Loudwire in 2023 that she doesn't care about genre. This seems to be the philosophy in which she and her guitarist husband, Mike Stringer, founded their band after they left I Wrestled a Bear Once. Spirit.
Yeah, so it's not entirely accurate. I Wrestled a Bear Once broke up. Courtney was the final singer of the band, replacing Krista Cameron. I still hope someday there'll be an Iwabo reunion. Mike was one of the final guitarists of Iwabo and in there for a long time. They, connected romantically, went off and started Spirit Box. And we had one of the first interviews with Spirit Box actually on our channel. Maybe I'll link all these relative things when I'm done. But yeah, Spirit Box absolutely deserves to be on this list. Very excited about whatever they do next. Surprised they were not nominated for a Grammy. Here's a good band, another one we've interviewed before, another metalcore band, very straight up swoopy hair scene kind of band. But While She Sleeps is number 15 on the list.
While She Sleeps.
Oh, they picked a good song here.
There's been no rest for one of the UK's leading metalcore acts since they won the Kerrang Award for Best British Newcomer.
The Kerrang Award. Wow. Kerrang, you know, great back in the day. Don't know about now. But yeah, While She Sleeps is badass. Interestingly enough, they've toured with a lot of metalcore and deathcore bands. So I saw a tour that was the Die Artist Murder with their original singer, as well as While She Sleeps and Architects and Bad Omens. So that was quite a 1, 2, 3, 4. I've also seen While She Sleeps at a festival where they played to like kind of an unknown, they were unknown to the crowd except for a few diehards. And then they did very well, and it seemed like everybody was talking about them the rest of the weekend, which was killer. Here's a surprise. Metal, right? We said best metal bands. Modern metal, right? Here's Alter Bridge. Not what I would call metal.
Alter Bridge.
Looking back, I clearly see what it is that's killing.
Like, I love Alter Bridge, man. I love Tremonti from Creed and Tremonti, and I love Miles Kennedy. Could have been the singer of Led Zeppelin, and you know, did audition for Velvet Revolver and Led Zeppelin, I think. And he sings with Slash's band also. He's great. And they have some heavy songs, definitely not metal. Many, many bands are not here, and they put this band here. So I'm just kind of baffled by the pick. Not that nothing against, no shade to Alter Bridge, killer band, not metal. Another band here that I'm a little questioning is number 13. You'll find out why in a second. 13 is Epica.
Epica.
Symphonic metal, incredible band, incredible singer Simone Simmons. Not entirely sure that Epica counts as a 2000s band because I think they started technically in other bands and Epica was the side band that became the main band. I can double check that, but phenomenal band, phenomenal singer. I've interviewed the band. I've seen them a bunch of times. Great band. I think they're a little late to be on this list, but, you know, in terms of when they came out. But okay. Almost to the top 10. Another female-led band, Ginger.
12. Ginger.
Phenomenal. Yeah, what an interesting... The song that broke them.
Over the years, the Ukrainian group...
Yeah, Ginger's incredible. Tati is an incredible singer. She can scream, sing, anything. We'll see if they picked another heavier song with them.
Or Ginger were designated.
Nope. They just went with the commercially viable song. Okay. Ginger is incredible, progressive, brutal, all the things. I'm a big fan. They're on tour right now. Here's another band that I think is broken up or really on hiatus, The Contortionist. I was a big fan of this band.
Contortionist.
It was all
A variety of modern metal subgenres bent to form The Contortionist early on. The Indiana ensemble won immediate praise for their experiment.
So Contortionist also has a different singer now than they used to have, but they are a great band, and they had kind of a Ginger has our new reputation. Full Blown Nate is here. What up? What up? Yeah, I actually think that like Contortionist is underrated, but they're kind of on a hiatus as far as I know. I know they did have kind of a little bit of a comeback the last couple of years. And here's their top 10. Let's go quickly through this. Here's another surprise in a good way. Archspire, who just announced the big tour.
This Vancouver five-piece may be the very pinnacle of technical death metal today.
Yeah, they're amazing. I love Archspire. They're bros. I'm looking to get an interview with them soon to talk about their upcoming new album. I believe they fund it all by themselves with a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter. They are on break from dislocating their spines. It dislocated my spine from listening to the Contortionist. But yeah, man, Contortionist, great. Archspire, nice. Archspire's killer, super fun band. Here's number 9, not a surprise. Also doing a little less active these days, but Animals as Leaders really kind of opened up this genre a lot of new progressive metal
leaders.
fans. Everybody at home hurting their fingers.
After pushing progressive metal to the extreme with Reflux, guitar virtuoso Tosin Abasi did the same to jazz with Animals as leaders.
I think most people know Tosin as a huge guitar hero and Animals as leaders vis-a-vis as one of his bands, but pretty great. And he's just great people. Tesseract, another progressive metal band. Interesting.
True to their name, the English ensemble Tesseract spent years developing new layers and shapes to their progressive metal. Finally, in 2011, the album One introduced the world to their polyrhythmic grooves between the harshest.
Yeah, that's all accurate. Tesseract's a phenomenal band. Animals as leaders are like Ellen Holdsworth on meth. Jim, I agree. Tesseract's fun, great, heavy, sometimes beautiful. I've had a couple of different singer changes, but I'm still a fan. I've interviewed the band a few times, and they've been killing it on the road, doing some anniversary touring, and I believe 2027 will see a new album from the band. Now we're down to the top 7. This is no surprise. Anybody following heavy music the last few years, Bring Me the Horizon.
Bring Me the Horizon. They may not be as metal as they used to be, but Bring Me the Horizon is where extreme meets commercial appeal. The British outfit didn't have much of the latter in their early rendition of melodic deathcore. With encouragement from producer Frederick Nordstrom, they gradually adopted a more mainstream, alternative sound behind Oliver Sykes' powerful shrieking.
Nice work. Bring Me the Horizon just did a huge tour of the U.S. and some festivals. Tremendous band. I've seen them live at a bunch of festivals. They are touring America much more than all their other peers, which I think is why they've gotten so big. And I think that they're still pretty heavy. Let's see. Number 6, not a surprise, and I expect this band to have a new album late in the year or early next year. This is Trivium. I think this video inaccurately called Matt their new singer, but he's the founder of the band and has been in the band the longest. I think they technically started in 1999 or 2000. They were like one of the first MySpace bands. Bring Me the Horizon also was a big MySpace band. Trivium has a new EP out. We interviewed Paulo, the bassist. They were the Ghost Cult Album of the Year band for 2022. And I'm looking forward to the next full length from them. It's funny, I saw them when they were like a brand new band on Ozfest 2005. And then, huge band these days. Also big, and another band from the UK, very UK-centric band. I wonder if Watch Mojo is got like editors from the UK. Here's Architects, number 5.
Architects. How fitting of a name for the British band that helped design metalcore as a progressive.
That is actually true. Yeah, they helped make metalcore more progressive metal. That video in the round was incredible. They did a whole thing during the live stream, the sort of COVID live streams era, where they did a live stream with a 360 stage with cameras on tracks that track the band from multiple angles all at once. It was brilliant, and then they put that out for as a series of music videos. I thought that was brilliant. Architects is a killer band. For those that wish to exist as their last record is pretty killer. I'm a fan. Number 4. This is also probably the correct ranking for Periphery.
From their namesake to the center of the metal world, Periphery have always been outsiders. Visionary guitarist and producer Misha Bulb Mansour leads the massive ensemble with an elaborate tapestry of tones, rhythms, and genres.
Yeah, I'm a big Periphery fan. I've interviewed Misha, and I think they have fans that are just fans of their guitar stuff, and I think they have fans that are just kind of down with them as a metalcore band. All right, last three. This is a great band that I'm not that into, but okay. Here's Between the Buried and Me.
Between the Buried and Me. Between high-minded proggers and metalcore adrenaline junkies, one band reigns supreme. North Carolina's Between the Buried and Me blasted out of the 90s with a cosmic cacophony of hyper-technical extreme metal.
Alaska might still be their best record ever. Colors is also great. The Hella Sketchies here. Yeah, I like Between the Buried and Me, or as my partner at Ghost Co Omar calls them, Between the Pillow and Me, Waka Waka. I think my tastes have changed. I think they're a great band. New Periphery, yes, they don't always listen to them, but your apartment listened as well. You're building nice work, bro. Between the Buried and Me has their fans. I just feel like they're a little samey to me. Here's going to be controversial either way. Number 2 is Ghost.
Ghost.
That is not... Okay. Let's not show the singer.
There's nothing wrong with a little eccentric showmanship, but the Swedish project Ghost put classic, versatile virtuosity at the center of their otherwise unpredictable...
Really? I don't think that's true. I think they don't know what to say about that band. Ghost started out as an underground psychedelic stoner rock band. I know people like to gig on them and call them Bluish Occult and Scooby-Doo music, but I don't know. I think that Ghost has started out in one place, and then they went kind of more and more commercially heavy metal. Saw Ghost's final show of their, or next to last show of their U.S. tour with my fiance Melissa, and they were phenomenal, and I'm going to miss them until they come back. Their string of records has been tremendous. I'm a big Ghost fan. I know people hate them or love them. Ghost fans, like Sleep Token fans, will be, how dare you not put them number 1? Tobias was in a death metal band called Repugnant. He might have also had some punk bands before having Ghost, but that is correct. And he's apparently a sweetie pie in real life. I would like to have dinner with him someday. Ghost are a genre unto themselves. They are like the Beatles metal, and they have a cover of Here Comes the Sun that I do love. All right, the number 1, kind of interesting, Mastodon. I love. And of course, Brent has passed away, and they start with him.
It doesn't get much more singularly metal than Mastodon. Even then, the American foursome have brought just about every variety of subgenre and lyrical content to their complex...
That is not true. Mastodon started out as a noisy sludge metal band. Then they kind of became like a bit of a psychedelic stoner metal band. And then they became they did like a left turn into progressive rock and Pink Floyd stuff. Crack the Sky is My Dark Side of the Moon for that decade. And, absolutely deserve to be number 1. Why would you have Gojira in the opening of the video and not have Gojira on this list? Did someone forget about them? Because Gojira is the only band I could think of being over them. Lamb of God came out in the 90s, if you're looking for similar comparables. And then the list is like Parkway Drive, North Lane, Ocean's 8 Alaska, Crystal Lake. Where is, everybody's mad about their bands. Ice Nine Kills, who I don't love, but they're huge. Orbit Culture, absolutely deserving. Era, Vola, House of Protection, In Heart's Wake, Avatar, Knocked Loose, not mentioned. North Lane, Russian Circles. A lot of people. Where is Orbit Culture? Where is Ice Nine Kills? I'm so glad Death Clock made the list. Volbeat, that's a Pokemon. Mastodon with no Brent. I think it's going to be fine. We'll hear the new album. I'm sure it's going to be fine. He did not participate at all, by the way, on this new album. He chose not to. He was still alive when they were writing it. Motionless in White, another one I thought would be here. Poppy, Kill Switch Engage. Early Asking Alexandria for sure. Not Five Finger Death Punch, but okay. I'm glad they're not on here. Not a fan. Bad Omens set the tone for modern metal. Meshuggah, but again, they came from the 90s. Bullet for My Valentine could have made the list. Bleed from Within could have made the list. Bands I've interviewed. Avenged Sevenfold, not on the list. Surprising. Powerwolf, Amon Amarth. Somebody's asking for a lot of like power metal, so like Powerwolf, War Kings, Windrose, Glory Hammer. I'm not fans of any of those bands much. War Kings is all right. Powerwolf I like. Sabaton. Nope. Well, Behemoth came from the 90s. The rules were like bands that started after 2000. So Behemoth had black metal albums, strictly underground black metal albums in the 90s. But I was a big fan of them even back then. Coheed, not a fan, but you can make a case. Again, it's like bands I thought were going to be on the list. Again, these are all bands, again, people not able to read. They said bands formed after 2000. Yeah. Matt Heafy, not Matt Healy. August Burns Red, also missing. So, like, what bands would you have here? Deaf Heaven missed out. They should have been on here. Electric Callboy is a huge band right now. I think I would have thought of. Maul and Gaeria are two newer bands that I think I would have mentioned. Zeal and Ardor. Oh my God, how do you not have Zeal and Ardor on here? Anyway, so yeah, no Electric Callboy. Just a surprise to me, some of this stuff. But, okay. I wanted to run through this list. Thank you for humoring me and hanging out with me on this Monday night on Memorial Day. Hopefully, if you're still partying with family or friends, please don't drink and drive. I'm going to take off. I will try to be back on tomorrow and or Wednesday with another live stream, possibly a big album review, maybe the new Devin Townsend. Thanks, Jim. And we'll see you soon. I'm out. GhostCultMag.com. If you're new here, like and subscribe. Peace.